name is Kristen and I'm the maker behind Yarn Theory, and today I'm back with another bag tutorial. Today is April 22nd, which is Earth Day, and I thought it would be great to share this tutorial because it is a great alternative to plastic bags for whenever you go to the store or when you go to the farmer's market. It's very easy to make and it clocks in at about 45 minutes to complete, and it's definitely beginner friendly. So the only techniques you need to know how to do are to make a chain, slip stitch, and double crochet. What I love about this construction is it's very easy to customize. The bag I'll be making for the sake of time for the tutorial is the smaller size. That bag is 12 inches wide, and including the handles, it's about 14 inches high. The base itself is about 4 inches deep. So if you want to make a bigger bag or smaller bag, don't worry. As we go through this tutorial, I will tell you each area that you can customize and how you can change it in order to accommodate your preference. This bag, I'm using the bobbiny cord once again. This time I'll be using the 3mm bobbiny cord. It is made from 100% recycled cotton and is Ecotex friendly, so I love using this stuff. Don't worry if you're not familiar with it. In the description box below, not only will you find the link to the written pattern itself, but in that pattern, it has the list of materials with links to the products that I use, so you'll be able to find them yourself. In the description box, you'll also find links to my socials, where else you can find me on the web, and information about any upcoming events such as live classes. So definitely pay attention to that because I'll be updating it with information about new classes coming soon. I'll be teaching 4 live classes in August, and I can't wait to share that with you. So definitely check out the description box below. And lastly, if you like crochet and knitting content and you don't want to miss out on any of my future uploads, make sure you click the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so each time I upload a new tutorial, you'll be updated in real time. So with that said, thank you so much, and let's get into the tutorial. So here are your materials once again, and now we'll just get into the pattern. So first, if you're going to make the bag as I am, you'll start off by chaining 35. And you want to make sure that you don't make your chain too tight or it'll be a little hard to work with and your bag will be a little tapered at the bottom. Now, if you want to make a bag that is bigger than this size, make sure that your chain count is a multiple of 3 plus 7. That 7 will create the first square that will be on your base, but it is very essential that you have a multiple of 3. So here I'm making my chain of 35, and now I'm going to count to the 8th chain from the hook, and I'm going to double crochet into the back of the 8th chain from the hook, and that creates our first square here. Now you will chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet into the next chain. And we're going to continue this down the line. So chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet into the next chain. Once again, chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet into the next chain. And we'll continue this until you get to the very end of the chain. When you get to the end of that row, you should have a total of 10 squares. And now we will chain 5, and this chain 5 will count as our first double crochet in chain 2 of the next round. Once you chain 5, you'll turn your work and we'll continue back in the other direction. And so you've already created your double crochet and chain 5, and so now you will double crochet into the top of the next double crochet from the previous row. Chain 2, skip 2, and then double crochet into the top of the next double crochet. Chain 2 again, double crochet into the top of the next double crochet, and you will continue this down the row. So I will only make my base 4 rows wide, and this is just my preference, but this is an area that you can customize. So if you want your bag to be a bit wider, you would continue making more rows until it's the width that you would like it to be. So I'm stopping at 4, but you can continue on if you need your base to be larger. So I fast forwarded a bit to get to the end of my 4th row. Once you get to the end of your final row, you will make a slip stitch, and you'll slip stitch across until you get to the center of one of the short sides of your base. I choose to do this because I like my seam to be centered on one of the shorter sides, and it just makes it easier for when I'm doing some of the steps later on in the pattern. But once you get to the center, you have completed the steps for your base. And so now we'll begin to work around the outside of our base to create the body of our bag. And so first you'll start off with a chain 5, and once again this chain 5, it counts as your first double crochet and your chain 2 space. You will double crochet into the side of that row. It looks like a double crochet, but it's actually the side of one of your rows. Chain 2. Now you will double crochet into the corner of that square. Chain 2 again, and now you'll double crochet into the top of the double crochet from that row. And we'll continue to work in this pattern all the way around. So chain 2, double crochet into the top of the double crochet, and so on. Keep in mind that just for this row or this round only, you will be crocheting into or placing a double crochet into each of the corners, but you will only do that for round 1 of the body of the bag. once you make the final double crochet in your round, you will chain 2 and close up the round with a slip stitch, and you'll slip stitch into the 3rd chain in that beginning chain that you made. And now we'll continue in the same manner. Chain 5, double crochet into the top of the next double crochet. That creates your first square. Chain 2, double crochet into the top of the double crochet, and then continue on around. And so you will continue building up the size of your body of your bag with this pattern until it gets to the height that you want it to be. So here's another area where you can customize your bag. I am going to continue in this pattern for a total of 11 rounds before I begin to start to form my handles. But if you want your bag to be taller, or if you would like it to be shorter, you can stop at whatever number of rounds fits your preference. So I skipped ahead here, but here is the completion of this round. And so what I'm going to do is skip ahead and come back once I've completed round 11. And once we get to round 12, we will begin to form our handles. So here is what the bag is looking like so far with 11 rounds. Here is our seam, and it's blending in nicely on the side. Here's the inside of our bag. We have a nice space, and now we will begin round 12. So this is the round that I'm choosing to create my handles, and we'll start off this round as normal. We'll start off with a chain 5, and this chain 5 again counts as your first double crochet and chain 2 space. And then we will work in the pattern until we've created a total of 5 squares. Once you've created the 5th square, that is when we will begin to form our handles. And so for this bag, I'm choosing to make the handles in the same mesh pattern as the body of the bag, and you're welcome to do this. If you do this, make your chain count to be a multiple of 3 minus 1. So I am choosing to chain 38 from my handle, but if you wanted a longer handle or shorter handle, just make sure it is a multiple of 3 minus 1. Now, if you're choosing to completely crochet in every chain for your handle, then the count doesn't matter because you'll be crocheting in every chain on the handle. So here I am chaining 38. Once again, making sure that it's not too tight. And once I complete this chain, I'll connect it on the other side by skipping 4 squares and connecting it on the other side of that 4th square. So once I finish this chain, I'll show you where I connect. So here our chain is complete, and I just counted the 4 squares over, and I'm going to attach by making a double crochet into the top of the double crochet on the other side of our 4 squares. And now I'll continue in the pattern, and this time I'll make 10 of those squares. And once I've completed 10 squares, I will start and make the chain for the strap on the other side. Again, continuing in our pattern of chain 2, skip 2, double crochet. And this is also a place where you can play around with the texture of your body of your bag, If you want to maybe alternate rows and do one solid row and one chain row, you can do that. This pattern is really fun and easy to adjust and customize, so just have fun with it, get creative, and don't be afraid to mess up. Admittedly, I made this bag over and over again, so you'll see later at the end I have my yarn is all cut up because I kept changing my mind with how I wanted to format things. So here we are, we've completed our 10 squares and we're going to form our other handle, completing it in the same way as the other side. I am chaining 38, and once I've made the 38 chains, I'll then connect it on the other side of 4 squares and then finish out this round. Okay, so we made it to the final round of our bag, and we're going to work that chain mesh pattern all the way around to the end. We'll start off this round as usual with a chain 5, double crochet into the top of the next double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into the top of the next double crochet, and we'll continue on in this pattern. So when you get to your handle, you will chain 2, skip 2, and then double crochet into that next stitch. So if you did your counts right, you will end, your final double crochet will be into the top of that first double crochet that's at the end of your chain. So if you get to the end of your chain and you have an extra double crochet, an extra chain or 2 little chains, that means you may have messed up your count somewhere along the way. So I would suggest double checking your chain counts as you're going, so you don't have to rip it out and go back to the beginning of round 12. So here is the completed first handle. As you can see, I have to connect some of the cord that I cut earlier so I can complete this round, but I'll complete this round and then come back once I'm at the end. So here is our completed bag, and what I like to do is include a drawstring cotton bag to use on the inside. So when I'm carrying it, if I have any smaller items like berries or things that might fall through the holes like pins or something, I'll put them in the drawstring bag, and then I don't have to worry about anything not being where it needs to be. Also, you can use this bag as a storage bag or as a packaging bag for it if you're selling these at markets and such. And that way it's a cute way to store them and send them to customers. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Remember, the link to the pattern is in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye!